We are going to be going over this top 300 greatest albums of all time list that was released sometime in the last 2 weeks. So, Modest Mouse, Lonesome Crowded West at 300. I think that's reasonable.
I made my top 100.
Yeah, and I understand that, but I think in like the grand scheme of things, it should be on this list. And I do think in the the 200 to 300 range is where I think it should go, personally. But
Yeah.
all right, Queen Jazz I think is a bizarre choice. Jazz has two of my favorite Queen songs,
Sure.
Bat Bottom Girls and Bicycle Race. But like, why would you choose Jazz over A Night at the Opera or The Game? 297 Terry Riley, A Rainbow in Curved Air. Perfect. I put this on my top 250. I'm not familiar with this album. This might be more your department. I don't know the Raincoats.
Yeah, I mean,
That's your department.
I'm familiar, but I don't personally care about the Raincoats.
I think 295 for Bad Brains self-titled is perfect.
Sure.
Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted. Yep, I think it's a good placement for it. It's influential.
Sure.
And actually, I think 292 for David Bowie's Scary Monsters and Super Creeps is exactly reasonable.
I think that's
That's exactly where it should go.
accurate.
Great record. It's not on my top 250, but I think it's a great record, and I have the T-shirt, and great.
Yeah.
I have no opinion on this Cameron album. I don't know any. Cameron?
La leyenda del tiempo. All right. It's flamenco. I don't know anything about flamenco.
I'm open to it. So they went with The Wonderful and Frightening World of the Fall.
People like
Sure.
the fall.
People like The Fall. Again, this is very Rate Your Music core.
Yeah, people like the fall, not us.
I like The Fall.
You like the fall?
I like This Nation Saving Grace.
Okay.
That's a good album.
I don't like the fall.
I would say I like The Fall, but they're not easy to listen to, and that's the point. They're hard to listen to. It's anti-music music. 289 Britney Spears Baby One More Time. A 289 is fine with me. I have no issue with that. Max Martin, tons of bangers.
Yeah.
Influential. What else
Yeah.
needs to be said? 288 The Who Tommy. Perfect. Again, I have no debate. Like, I think that's
Sure.
exactly where it should go.
Yeah.
Bonnie Prince Billy. I'm just.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I'm not really.
What is that?
The genre is like.
Appalachian-inspired country folk?
Well, I was gonna say like skinny white guy folk. Like I'm withering away, and I weigh like 100 pounds.
sickly.
Yeah, I'm sickly, but I'm like 6'1". Even if that's not what he looks
he
like,
work in a
that's
coal
what
mine?
it sounds like. The KLF. I don't know enough about it. Lil Kim hardcore.
Sure.
Talk Talk Laughing Stock at 284. Perfect.
Fine.
Bob Marley and the Wailers Burnin' 283. Fine. 282 Brian Eno Another Grey World. I'm with it, dog. Because this isn't in my top 250, but it would be in my 500.
Right.
I'm unfamiliar with this record. Towns Van Sant, not my genre, but I believe you.
I don't like it, and I don't want it there.
279 Robin Body Talk, Not Gonna Argue. Hiroshi Yoshimura, Music for the 9 Postcards. I actually don't know that particular album.
I don't know that one either. But
So
but I know that I like.
We
Hiroshi,
love Hiroshi, but it's funny because we both put different Hiroshi albums on
Yeah.
our list that wasn't this one.
So maybe that one.
So maybe this is the one, man. Pulp different class. I'm not gonna argue with it, but I've said before that it's not my particular taste in Britpop, so I don't care for it. But I'm not gonna argue with its relevance and like influence and stuff. You know what? I'm not gonna pull out The Man Machine anytime soon by Kraftwerk, but it should be there.
I agree that it's
Fine. Songs Ohio, the Magnolia Electric Company. Didn't this guy die?
This feels like it's gonna be Americana. It's giving My Morning Jacket.
I'm pretty sure this guy's no longer with us. What's his first name? Jason Molina. It could be really good. 273 Neil Young After the Gold Rush I think is too low.
A little bit too low.
But I'm okay with, like, whatever. It's on the list.
But if you're gonna put Blondie parallel lines above it, I think that's kind of wild.
I mean, its influence, its cultural impact. I don't know. I'm going to confess something. I've never listened to this Fiona Apple album, When the Pawn.
Yeah, it's a very annoying album title.
I think society loves Fiona Apple more than I do. I'm not crazy about Fiona Apple.
Yeah.
I like Fiona. It's on the plus side for me, but I don't ever seek it out. Tom Petty, Wildflowers at 268. Sure. Dolly Parton, I don't listen to her, but I believe that
Yeah,
that's
Dolly
worthy.
Parton's solid, yeah.
But you could see already, because it's 300 slots, they have more room to flesh out.
They do.
And it's a better list. And it's just more kind of accurate, I think. I put Fighting by Thin Lizzy on my list, but that was like, it eked in right at the end. That's like number 250, right, on my list. Jailbreak is just as good. I mean, I can't really...
Yeah.
The fact that there's one Thin Lizzy album on this, great.
I love.
I'm not going to argue with that.
I am just a cowboy.
I don't know this Stars of the Lid album. I think I'm okay with that. Always Blue Rev, it's a good record. I think it's a little overrated. Silver Jews, I was going to open for David Berman, or we were. I was in a band that was playing a festival, and David Berman of Silver Jews was the headliner. And then unfortunately he took his own life.
Oh, so sad.
And then they had to replace him with Yola Tango, I think. Oh. I think that's what happened. Meters, yeah, in terms of influence, they should be on here. Yeah. I happen to like this album.
Sure.
I don't think it's top 500 though. So I have a very strained relationship with the Byrds for a couple reasons. Okay. One, there's the David, the David Crosby era and the non-David Crosby era. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm going to prefer the David Crosby era. Two, some of their, and I think this album is an example of that. It's like country. It's not what I'm going to the Byrds for. I want jangly 12 strings. I want harmonies. I want complicated chord progressions, and I want like folksy, whimsical lyrics about like the government stuff.
Right.
Aquemini is on.
It's a game.
Is on the Apple list. It's not on my list, and it wasn't on your list.
No. But I like it.
I like it.
But I didn't have a 300 list. I had 100. So.
Marty Robbins, unfamiliar. Not for me. Cyndi Lauper, she's so unusual. I think this is the first one where I'm like, I don't know, man. Right? Lord, melodrama.
Don't care about Lord either.
Me neither. Popol Vuh, Krautrock, New Age. This sounds dope. Joni Mitchell, Hajira. Don't disagree. It's on my list. It should be on this list. Steely Dan Asia, perfectly fine with that. Shangri-La's Leader of the Pack. I don't care.
Sure.
Sound of Silver. That's a great album. I have no debate with that. Eric B. and Rakim Paid in Full. No argument there. Highly influential. For THET, there is Love in You. I think is a great record. Sure. Alice Coltrane, Turia Sings. I went with a different. I went with Journey.
Yeah.
But this album is great. The Promise Ring, Nothing Feels
Not
Good.
Familiar.
I think this is the most
stupidest thing.
No, I think this is accurate. This album used to be lauded as top 10 of all time.
Why?
Its stock has gone down in the last 10 to 20 years.
It's not good. Nothing about it is good.
I'm just saying
Nothing about the Sex Pistols is good.
Okay, I'm just saying that it used to be at number like 7 on these lists.
That's crazy.
I've been looking at these lists since I was a baby, right? And now 241, I think, is like where it should be.
Jesus Christ.
Actually. Lady Gaga, The Fame Monster, you put it on your list. Mountain Goats, The Sunset Tree, I don't think that should be on this list. I am Mountain Goats indifferent, I would say.
They're Kimya Dawson adjacent. They're folky.
Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I think that's a way better placement than where it was on Apple's list.
Yeah.
Which was like 87. It's like, no, 238 is way more accurate.
238.
Yeah.
Danny Brown.
It's bloated. Danny Brown. I think this is a fair placement.
Joy Division, solid.
Joy Division, Unknown Pleasure's fine. Aretha Franklin, Amazing Grace.
Sure.
I've never listened.
D'Angelo, sure.
Black Messiah, yep, I'm not going to debate that. Deja Vu, I think that's exactly where it should go.
Wow. At 233.
Yeah, it wasn't even on my top 50. 250. It would have been in my 300. Portishead Dummy at 232, no debate. Ornette Coleman, The Shape of Jazz to Come 231. Sounds good to me. Carly Rae Jepsen, Emotion at 230. I think that's fair.
Beck, Odelay, sure.
Hey, at least it's on the list.
Yeah.
It would be in my top 20 to 30, but that's my personal soul, right? I don't expect others to
get it.
Odelay always sounds modern and fresh to me. I think 226 for Solange makes more sense than putting it in the top 100 of all time. 225 Curtis Mayfield Superfly is exactly where I put it. U2 Joshua Tree, I didn't put it on my top 250, but I would put it in my 300. So I'm not going to debate 224. Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska, I don't give a shit about this album. It's boring. 222 for Cure Pornography. Okay, that's cool. Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. 220. Another example of an album that used to be considered top 10.
Yeah, but I'm just
the stock has...
Stop sucking his dick.
Jeff Buckley, Grace at 219 is exactly where I put it on my list. The band music from Big Pink, I put the band self-titled at exactly that slot on my list. Liz Phair, Exile in Guyville, I would have put this album on my top 500 maybe. Magnetic Field, 69 Love Songs, 216.
Sure.
No debate. 215 Led Zeppelin 4 is a prime example of it being rated lower than it used to be. Because this used to be in the top 50. Joanna Newsom I think is how you pronounce that, as opposed to Wise. I don't know. 214, sure. Not going to debate that. Lil Wayne, the Carter 3 at 213. Not going to argue with that. Grace Jones, Nightclubbing, 212. That's fine with me. Fugazi Repeater, 211. Fine. The Blue Nile. I haven't listened to that one yet, but I want to. At 210, Stooges Funhouse at 209. I don't think this should be it. I don't like that album particularly. So
I don't like when you talk about that album.
208, Joni Mitchell, Court and Spark was not on my list, but it would be in my top 400 probably. So I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not really a Tom Waits fan, so wouldn't be on my list, but I've seen Rain Dogs on many of these lists.
Would Pudding be on your list?
Piggy's number one skis in my list. Oh, so cute. American Football at 206 is a bold choice, but
they're very popular.
But it's a very good album, so who am I to say? 205 Captain Beefheart, Trout Mask Replica. Not for me, but I understand its cultural importance. This is a weird choice. Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe, as opposed to like... Doesn't she have more popular albums? The Arch Android, The Electric Lady, to name two. 203 Leonard Cohen, Songs of Leonard Cohen. I'm not particularly a fan, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, I understand it. Do you see how this list makes more sense than the Apple one?
Yeah.
Built to Spill, 202.
It's got more variety in there.
Danger Mouse, the Grey Album. I like that they put that on. I like that mixtape. It's like the bootleg that put him on the map in the first place. Right. 209 Massive Attack Blue Lines, 200. This used to be top 100, top 50 according to Society. Right. So I think this is more accurate. War on Drugs, Lost in the Dream, not for me, but I do like the album Sleep Ambient, I think it's called. Slave Ambient? Sorry, Slave Ambient. That record is really good. This is a little too Budweiser rocked for me. Buena Vista Social Club 198, not going to argue with it. Slayer at Rain and Blood 197, not going to argue with it. Sure. Rush Moving Pictures would be in my top 50, so the fact that it's on here is cool. Vince Staples, Big Fish Theory. I am not familiar with it.
Velvet Underground, solid. 194. I'm okay with that.
193, Fiona Apple, Fetch the...
Don't care about Fiona that much.
I think this is one of the most overrated albums of all time.
People really love it, though.
Yeah, it's great. It's what do you call it? I don't know. Dinosaur Jr., You're Living All Over Me.
Sure. Crazy, Sexy, Cool.
I don't think it should be on this list. I think Waterfalls could be argued as one of the best singles of all time, but this whole album all the way through?
I mean, it's got Red Light Special. It's got Digging on You. It's more than just Waterfalls.
The Microphones, The Globe Part 2. I love this record. It's not on my top 250 of all time, but I would put it on my top 500 maybe of all time.
I can see why people like it.
I don't know who Angelo Badalamenti is. Oh, soundtrack for Twin... Sorry, I didn't read the whole thing.
Yeah, but
sorry, I just went from left to right. Yeah, soundtrack from Twin Peaks. All right, so it's that guy.
All right.
Fair enough.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I wouldn't have put it on, though. That's crazy. Come on.
Who are we trying to impress?
Yeah, now we're...
Who are we trying to... Are we trying to get laid by somebody?
This is trying to get... Exactly. 178. Again, I love this. I really like this record. This Yo La Tengo album from 2000. It would go on my top 1,000. It's a great record. Yeah. 178 of all time. Relax.
I love this Casey Musgraves album. I think this is on the Apple 100 too.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if 100 greatest albums ever. That's kind of wild. But
yeah. Nick Drake, I need to listen to Pink Moon again. I need to listen to all of his records again. They're all great. Soundtracks for the Blind Swans is very Rate Your Music Core. Jizza Liquid Swords. Okay. That's cool.
Sure. Okay.
I love talking about Public Image Limited second edition. AKA Metal Box. Are we a band? Are we a corporation? Are we torturing you? Is this music? Is this anti-music? Is anti-music also music? If you look at some of the live footage from performances of songs from this record, they had so many lineup changes because they're all doing heroin, and people are leaving, people are coming, people are going. Mm-hmm. But once you get to like the end of 1980, beginning of 1981, their live band is like musicians.
They're doing it again.
Neutral Milk Hotel and The Aeroplane Over the Sea. I think it's one of the most overrated albums of all time. As I also think Taylor Swift Red is, as I think Appetite for Destruction is. I think Fear of Music is a little overrated. I like it.
I like Talking Heads.
I like Talking Heads. I just wouldn't put it.
I like Marvin Gaye.
I like Marvin Gaye. You're more of X-Ray Specs.
Yeah, X-Ray Specs. I think it's influential, but
all right.
I guess 167 is fine.
163 Pixies Doolittle. Yes. I would agree with that.
Sure.
I'm not going to argue with that. I actually like the fact that they're not overrating this album. This album is one of the most... I actually have always agreed with Fantano. You know, he gave it a 6. I would give it a 7.5. So the fact that it's at 162, I'm happy about.
Yeah, stay there.
Stay there, please. Van Halen self-titled. I understand its influence. I actually prefer 1984.
I don't like Van Halen.
I would have put 1984 in my top 500.
Van Halen has ruined sex for me.
Do you have any opinion on Waylon Jennings?
I like Waylon Jennings. I don't think that this album means anything to me or I would put it on this list. But I understand why they did, because they're trying to really grab
to be broad.
Dusty Springfield, No Easy Way Down's a beautiful track. I don't know if the rest of the album.
It's not for me, but I'm not going to debate it.
She's a fantastic
I'm not going to
singer.
debate
She
it.
has a cover of Son of a Preacher Man that's really good.
Yeah, I'm not going to
She's
debate
a soulful white woman.
I'm not going to debate it.
She makes me want to smoke cigarettes and drink coffee in a diner.
I like this album. I like Dismemberment Plan's Emergency and Dismemberment. I like Dismemberment Plan's Emergency and I, but I would absolutely not put it on this list. Fishman's is Rate Your Music, Japanese rockcore.
Okay.
I personally I'm willing to, you know what? I'm open. I just haven't had it hasn't clicked.
Got it.
152 Slow Dive Souvlaki. I think it's a great record. Not on my top 250.
Sure, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. It would be on my top 500 probably. Lana Del Rey, Norman fucking Rockwell was on your list.
It definitely made mine. Okay,
very
Computer.
Interesting that they're putting Radiohead OK Computer at 150. That is very interesting. That is a Gen Z take that I've never seen before. This is new. Frank Ocean, Channel Orange, 149. I like that. I like that.
I like it.
Boards of Canada, Music Has the Right to Children, 148.
What is that?
I put that on my list. I was actually hesitant to putting it on the list because the last couple times I've tried to listen to it, I've found that it doesn't sound as modern as I was hoping it would be. It doesn't, I don't know. It hasn't aged as well. Madonna Erotica, sorry, my eyes. I have no idea.
It's clubby.
Yeah, it does have that ballad that I really like.
I'm not a big Madonna fan.
Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt made it into my list last minute. It's one of my favorite hip-hop albums of all time. I put this Belle and Sebastian album on my list, but again, like last minute. It's a great album, but I haven't listened to it in a long time.
Sure, it's not for me, but I understand it.
Paul Simon Graceland definitely made my list. I grew up with this album. I have a lot of nostalgia with it. I put Bjork's Homogenic. I would put that in my top 400. I put Vespertine on my list.
I don't. It's sure she exists.
Boris Pink. You know, this isn't even my favorite Boris album. Pink is usually considered their best album. I personally think it's one of the most overrated albums of all time. I think it's really mid. I'm not familiar enough with Out to Lunch, but it's considered a jazz standard.
It's a jazz guy. It's a jazz guide that I would put on there.
Yeah.
I sign off on.
Spiritualized, Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space. I almost put Laser Guided Melodies on my list, or at least I did, and then you talked me out of it. But since I've made my list, I've actually added some albums after taking away some albums. Wow. Isn't that interesting?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still tinkering?
Yeah, I've been tinkering a little bit. Tinkering.
But not trimming the fat. Love that.
I really
Sparks.
Like this album.
Yeah, this album's sick.
I don't particularly love Sparks overall, but this would be the album I would go for.
Exactly.
James Brown Live at the Apollo is generally considered one of the best live albums of all time, but
I love James Brown.
Personally, the year 1963, I just don't want to listen to a live recording that early. The production isn't up to like
snuff in your
what
eyes.
I like.
Well, yeah, things get a little bit muddy for sure.
Metallica Master of Puppets. It took me a while to appreciate. Because when I was younger, you know, I just couldn't get past Lars's clunky drumming.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know, just, he's a clunkorama. And I used to find the drum production too reverby in 80s for me. Mm-hmm. I prefer the drier skate punk drum tone that they went with on Master of and Justice for All, which then became the go-to drum sound in all of metal. I prefer the dry, even though, of course, Lars's drums are way too loud on that album. But that's why I put in Justice for Jason Remastered 2 on my list, because it's a bootleg, of course, with added bass.
Elliott Smith, either or, sure. PJ Harvey.
I don't particularly like this record.
I do.
It's okay.
Herbie Hancock, Headhunters. That could be a little bit further in the list, honestly. Yeah. 130.
130.
I think that could be bumped right up to 108.
I'm okay. Little Mike Watt action, Minutemen.
Yeah. A solid choice.
It's a great record. It's too long. Have you ever tried to listen to that whole album all the way through?
I don't think I've ever listened to anything from the Minutemen all the way through.
Beatles Rubber Soul, already talked about that on the last show.
Talked about Low.
Low's on my list. Discovery's on my list. So 128 to 126 is all on my list, as is Dark Side, which
It's fine.
I really didn't want to put it on, but I was like, it's so important in my life. I grew up on it.
Yeah.
It defined at least partially my taste in music. I feel similarly to Ramon's self-titled as I do Murmur, where it's like there's some bangers, but then it's like just a couple songs where I'm like, that's okay. It's okay.
Do you want to know an interesting take about Buttons?
Latins.
I don't really give a fuck about the Ramones.
Wow.
And I think that most people would look at me, or maybe not look at me, but anybody that talks to me would be like, yeah, of course you gotta like the Ramones. Yeah. Especially if you don't like, Sex Pistols Clash vibe as much. Especially because I like 77. But I don't like the Ramones are fine. They're just fine. I don't think that they're bad.
And this album's the beginning of that movement, right?
Yeah, it's like
it's like the first one.
The Ramones are the biggest one. It's not the first one, but they're like the biggest
one.
Well,
the first one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, like
Sex Pistols, Ramones,
like this is
Clash.
This is the first big guy that comes out, and I get it. So it's influential, and I definitely like Ramones songs. I know I will sing along.
Michael Jackson, Thriller, sure.
Sure.
What else is there to say?
Sure.
Actually, can I say one thing about Thriller? I think track 2, Baby Be Mine, is one of the best non-singles on any album.
Wow.
Track 2, Baby Be Mine. And there's like, 6 or 7 singles out of 9 tracks? One of the non-singles is Baby Be Mine, and it's my favorite, one of my favorites, if not my favorite.
Wow.
Partially because it wasn't destroyed for me. It's one of his best. It's the best deep cut on this record, in my opinion.
Sure.
Check out Baby Be Mine. Or not. I don't give a shit. Fuji's the score. Sure.
Sonic Youth.
I think Daydream Nation's one of the most overrated albums of all time. Again, Banger City. It's got amazing 10 out of 10 tracks, including Eric's Trip. But overall, it's so long and there's so much of it that I'd rather just be edited out. I'd rather this be a stronger 45-minute album.
Yeah.
And tighter. Then we're talking classic.
Yeah, I like it.
That's always been my take.
I like it, but
I put Are You Experienced on mine just because it's like it's so foundational.
Yeah, I got it. I like it. Willie Nelson, Redheaded Stranger. Never listened to a full Willie Nelson
That's
album.
not for me. I don't care. Don't give a shit.
Don't give a shit.
Dr. Dre, The Chronic. Yeah. Great record. Yes.
System of a Down, Toxicity. Sure. Yeah. Beautiful.
Also, yes. Mad Villain.
Yeah.
Godspeed. People love this band. They're also Canadian. They're considered like the greatest post-rock band, or like top 3 to 5.
Men that I used to be attracted to 10 years ago would like this band.
Deceit entered my 250. Just sneaked into the 250. I feel like I've said that a lot.
Yeah. They're cool.
J Dilla Donuts is considered a classic. I wouldn't debate that.
I like J Dilla.
Like I've said about Straight Outta Compton, side A is perfect, side B is like fine.
It's fine.
So, it's got a perfect side A. Ram, not for me.
I don't think that. I don't want that.
I don't want that.
I
think it's too high.
Can we petition to get this one off the list?
Ram should be top 500, not top.
Paul and Linda, take a seat. Paul and Linda, take a seat.
Here goes the river,
Monkberry
and
Moon
into
Delight.
the river weaver.
Yeah, I hate
That's
that.
my review.
Yeah. So we skip.
I like Sunno.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them a lot, but I wouldn't put any of their records in my top 500 probably, but it's only because I'm not.
They're like experimental metal, yeah?
It's like drone though. It's like very viscerally
Oh, I don't
loud.
like that. You know I don't like that. Mm-mm.
It's really good. It's just I don't go for it because I'm so rhythmic focused.
Do you think I would like it? I don't
And
feel like I know how I feel about it.
You might really like it.
Maybe.
I've seen them live. I've seen Sun O and Boris live.
Okay.
It was cool.
Okay.
Also, to that point, maybe choose Sun O or Boris for this list. It's a little too much to choose both of them, and then leave out like, I mean, in my opinion, some crucial records. Have we seen Aphex Twin yet?
Yeah, I think we did.
We did?
Yeah.
Have we seen...
Only one.
Anyway.
Anyways.
102, Prince and the Revolution, 1999. Great record. Bridge Over Troubled Water.
I wouldn't put it there, but...
Not for me, but I'm not going to argue with it. B.B. King Live at the Regal, so not for me. But I've heard this album is like a standard in blues.
Yeah, well, because his vocals are good. BB's vocals aren't strained. You know, like sometimes it goes in and out. You know.
I'm gonna say something controversial.
What?
I find 199 to be boring. These two records to me are just boring. Me, Samuel, Shema.
No, I agree. Because the Grateful like that Grateful Dead album, what you got? Ripple, you got Sugar Magnolia.
Ripple is such a boring song. Okay, it's just so not my taste. This all
It's
too
the type of
Americana.
Americana.
It's too plain bagel.
I like Friend of the Devil though.
Friend of the Devil's good.
I would say that's a standout.
Yeah, Friend of the Devil's good. Donna Summer, Bad Girls, 98. I just don't. Come on. It's great, but
I won't know if I put it 98.
Come on.
Whoa, Death. And they put Symbolic versus... Okay, well, I can see that. I mean...
This list is so much better than Apple's.
R.I.P. Chuck really did some cool shit. But yeah, Symbolic is a great album.
Okay, this is so not the album to put on for Fleetwood Mac.
Tusk?
Not Tusk. It should be Tango in the Night.
Or Rumors.
No, but Rumors is going to be obviously later.
Okay.
It's always later. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mean to be condescending.
Yeah, you were, though.
I just know that it's...
Chop him up.
Ow.
Beat him.
Ow. Okay, can I tell you all the bangers on Tango in the Night?
Sure.
Big Love, Seven Wonders, Everywhere, Tell Me Lies, Tell Me Sweet Little Lies. Dude.
Okay.
It's a way better album. Tusk? What's up?
Look who's next.
Aphex Twin.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't put this on my list, but I would put it on my top 300 to 400.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did put Drooks and a collection that my friend made that he compiled of Aphex Twin. I said this maybe on the show.
I think you did.
Did I say it already? So
maybe.
Sade Love Deluxe. I don't connect with Sade. I put Michelle.
I grew up on Sade.
I put Michelle Nidicello on my list. Nidiocello. And for this genre, I just go for that record. That's my flavor. This is too cold for me. It's too cold to the touchington.
I guess for me, it's just like it's family music.
War of the World is a Ghetto. So this has Lowrider and
Cisco Kid. Why Can't We Be Friends? Right.
Oh wow! It has all three of those. Okay.
I think so, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they're Long Beach. They're.
Oh wait.
Am I wrong?
I have to look at the track list. But I
thought I had all three on it.
Okay. Let's confoy.
Because they don't. I mean.
Would you? But regardless of.
I wouldn't put it on.
No, come on.
I think so. Do I like it? Do I think that it's like part of culture?
Great.
Yeah.
Love it. It's got the Cisco Kid and The World is a Ghetto.
So it doesn't have Lowrider.
Doesn't have Lowrider. Lowrider is on.
Is it Lowrider and
War self-titled?
Oh.
Nope.
Well, season 9.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I spoke too soon.
Comes out later.
Is it on Deliver the Word? Where the fuck is this shit? Is it on The Black Man's Burden? What's Lowrider off of? Why Can't We Be Friends? 1975? It's off the album Why Can't We Be Friends from 1975. Interesting. So they went... That's
a very interesting choice.
92, Deer Hunter, Halcyon Digest. I like this album, but I've always found it to be a little overrated.
Yeah.
Not hugely overrated, just a little overrated.
Sure.
Otis Redding, Otis Blue.
I love Otis Redding.
Yeah.
It's good.
Won't debate it.
But it does a lot of covers, I think, on that one.
I will never put a Stooges album on any list ever, but you don't even fuck with Raw Power.
I don't hate Raw
Is it?
Power.
Who's the lineup on this? It was a different lineup.
Yeah. I don't hate Raw Power. I like Raw Power. I
think-
just don't think it's Funhouse.
One of the guitar techs or something becomes the new guitarist or something like that. Television Marquee Moon, great album, not on my list, but great record. One of my favorite songs of all time is Days by Television, which is off their second album. Which I think is just called Days? Anyway, Adventure. That album's called Adventure. Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream on my list.
Sure.
Paul's Boutique on my list. I love that The Life of Pablo is above Dark Twisted Fantasy because I 100% agree with that take.
Yeah.
And I'm here for that. And I never
Sure.
see that take. So I'm very happy
I would
with
agree
what's
with that,
happening
yeah.
with Kanye.
In life.
Life of Pablo is more postmodern. It's more interesting. It's weird.
Yeah.
Dark Fantasy is a little too normal for me. It's a little too normcore for me. Nina Simone?
Yeah. Classic.
Sophie on your list?
Yeah.
Classic. Pixie Surfer Rosa on
On my
a
list.
button. Replacements Let It Be, great record.
Sure.
Not on my list, but hugely influential. If you listen to the Goo Goo Dolls, and you listen to Nirvana, and you listen to Ryan Adams, which might sound like three very different artists or bands to
You
you,
could hear where they
all sound like the Replacements. All of them.
they're trying to do their version
Of the Replacements.
Yeah.
Which is what's so crazy about them. They're one of the most influential American rock bands of all time.
You
up
know,
there with
but
the Pixies.
I guess, but
I guess.
No,
Fact.
okay, you're right. It's fact. But I personally don't care. Androgynous is like such a whatever song to me.
I really like
And people
this
love
album.
that song.
But I'd rather listen to the Meat Puppets, Up in the
Sure.
Sun,
Sure.
or Two, than any Replacements album. Meat Puppets is more my thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Little Richard, here's Little Richard.
I mean,
Not for me. Not my aesthetic.
it's classic. It's classic rock. I mean, I love that Tutti Frutti is actually a gay anthem that had the lyrics changed. Do you know the original lyrics was Tutti Frutti, good booty? Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Little Richard's awesome.
Yeah, Little Richard's gay, and he was trying to make it. Whatever. I love that. I love that album.
Blonde on Blonde is one of the most overrated, bland albums. I'm biding my time. More like I'm wasting Sam's time. He has to listen to all 70 minutes of this album. Every song has 6 or 7 verses. It's a very tedious
Yeah,
listen.
it's bad.
It's very bad.
Well, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. It's just
Okay, if somebody
cut
put
the
a gun.
songs
Okay,
down.
if somebody puts a gun to your head and says, Bob Dylan or Leonard Cohen, you can only listen to one for the
Bob
rest of your
Dylan,
life.
and then I would take Blood on the Tracks easy because it's all the guitars are open tuning, which I fuck with, and 12 stringing.
Well,
which
I
also
just
fuck with.
do you know what I choose? Death.
Okay.
That's the only thing you could listen to for the rest of your life.
I
Bob
like,
Dylan or Leonard Cohen. I'm just saying, end it now, dog.
Dylan.
End it now, dog. I'm ready to go. I've lived a good life. I've heard good music, and I'm ready to die. I'm willing to die for rock and roll. And if you make me choose,
All right, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
good.
Good
I don't know if it's a whole
album's worth. I don't know.
album. I mean,
Yeah.
there's great tracks on it, but I don't know if I could. I would have to look at the whole track listing, and to put it so far up there,
It's a little too high.
it's a bit.
It's a little much. I'm a little Muchington. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City.
Obviously, on my
your-
top 100 for sure. Madonna. Like
Okay,
a
so this
Prayer.
is another Madonna record. I would say this is a more obvious pick than
Sure.
the other one.
But I
But
still
I would
don't care.
I would have just chose one
Yeah,
also. 70, My Bloody Valentine, Loveless.
I like it.
It's surprisingly, I'm totally fine with that
I'm
number.
okay.
Fine with that. Illmatic, great record.
Great.
Both of these records are on my list. Lady Soul.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't listen to Aretha Franklin.
You know,
so.
it's great. It's great.
Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory was on your list.
Yeah.
Off the Wall was on my list.
It wasn't on mine.
Oh, you know what they're going to do?
What?
They're about to do a hipster thing.
Yeah.
So Nevermind is 65, right?
Yeah.
Wait and see.
In utero?
No.
No.
Way more obnoxious than that.
Oh, that's gonna piss me off.
Ray Charles, Modern Sounds and Country and Western. I'm sure it's a great record. I just don't listen to that kind of music.
I don't know about it. It's a whole album, but
It's considered it's considered his best record.
Okay.
Best full length. He's always been a greatest hits artist for me, but that's just how I was raised. So I'm not saying he is that.
Right.
That's just my experience. Husker Du, New Day Rising. I would have won with Zen Arcade, but New Day Rising is great.
Sure, I would have gone with Zen Arcade as well, though.
Beatles Self-Titled was on my list.
Once again, because that album, when you listen to Zen Arcade, there's a visceral, like, feeling.
Yes, it's visceral.
Like, it's like...
That they took 2 seconds to make the whole record.
You can...
Yeah, it's a... Yeah. Beatles Self-Titled on my list. Lucinda Williams, Car Wheels on a Gravel Road at 61. That's ridiculous. 61? Put it at 327 on a 500. Whole Live Through This at 60.
You knew that? Is that the hipster thing that you were counting on?
Yeah. Come on. Nevermind by Nirvana is objectively a better album than Live Through This.
I love Live Through This.
I get that they're trying to make feminist statements, but, like, it just is not true. Live Through This is the Straight Out of Compton of alternative rock.
Sure.
Side A is perfect. Side B is
flat.
okay.
False.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Courtney Love, terrible fucking person. I don't know why we want to glorify her and make her like a feminist icon. Because she's a fucking cunt. She's not. Am I allowed to say that on the internet? you wince like I'm not supposed to.
Probably not.
I think it's okay. I think the internet god said it was okay.
All right, Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die sneaked onto my lists. I think Van Morrison Astral Weeks is again one of the most overrated albums of all time.
Okay, Van Morrison. He sounds better than that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like every song is just 2 chords. Just like C, G, C for like 8 minutes with like gregarious flute solos. And him just going.
Okay. We get your point. I don't care about Van Morrison in that sense. Pharoah Sanders, Karma, 57. Didn't make my list, but I think it's...
I don't listen to Pharoah Sanders, personally.
I like Pharoah Sanders.
Too free.
I don't know if I would put it so high.
I respect Pharoah Sanders. I don't listen to Pharoah. Inner Visions is on my list, but it has flaws. I love it, but it has flaws.
I like it.
But the things I love about it, I love. And he plays all the instruments, and he produces it.
I think another thing about Inner
all by
Visions
himself.
is this is an album that like I had to listen to front to back as a kid too. So this goes in the bucket with Sade, where it's just like I hear any track off of Inner Visions and I feel like I'm at the cookout.
And the album art's sick.
Yeah.
Lemonade 55.
There's cool tracks.
This is crazy, man. I know that it's 2024, but when we're in like 2064, is Lemonade really going to be the 55th best album? Probably. I would say Renaissance is going to take its place. Wu-Tang.
I don't want.
Well, I'm just saying that's probably
I
maybe
don't
true.
want the world to be
54
that way.
Wu-Tang. Enter the Wu-Tang was on your list.
REM so high on the list. I don't think that's necessary.
It's a great record. This would be on my top 300. It's very white.
It is. It's just
everybody hurts. You know, like a goat boy?
Yeah, it's not for me.
You don't want a goatman?
No. Joni, baby.
Hissing of Summer Lawns was on my list. This is Prince's favorite record of all time.
Really?
Yeah. Not familiar with this. I think I added it.
They seem Brazilian.
Seems exciting. Number 50, Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. I'm sure this has that same electrifying feel to it.
Yeah.
That electric feel. But I'm not going to pull it out anytime soon.
It's like if I am on a camping trip and I am drunk on whiskey, sure. Put a Folsom Prison on. Right?
Yeah, that sounds
like
fun.
if I'm
Moonshine.
if I'm in the woods and I'm
in
drinking a burb,
yeah,
I don't even need to be in the South. I could be in Southern Oregon. God damn it. Put me around a campfire, little bacon grease in the background. I might listen to this. I think I actually have this on vinyl. Is it something I listen to or care about? Not necessarily, but I mean, sure. You know what I mean?
You're gonna have to get me into Blonde. It's never connected for me.
Really?
I prefer Channel Orange.
I think you need to go through a breakup and then listen to Blonde at the same time. I think you need to get your heart crushed and pulverized and pissed on, and then listen to Blonde.
I'm not looking to have that kind of experience.
Well, I think that's the only way that somebody likes Blonde.
All right, moving on then.
Yeah.
Julie Cruz, Floating into the Night.
Ooh, it's Twin Peaks music.
Oh.
It sounds very like 50s, but like electronic 80s version.
Oh.
Like kind of, it's really pretty, but like kind of doo-wop-y.
48 seems remarkably high.
I don't know why I would put that. I don't know why I would put that up there.
Julie Cruz.
Yeah.
Fallow.
Some of it's fun, but it's like not.
Yeah.
It's not, you wouldn't find it exciting. What, you don't like me leaning in so close?
No, I was looking at your new tattoo.
Oh.
I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, is it shocking to you?
It's not shocking. It's just my brain goes, new information, new data. That's all.
Should the new information for the viewers?
Show your new information. Show them. 47, Kinda Blue, Miles Davis.
Beautiful.
That makes a lot of sense. The Roots, Things Fall Apart, 46. It's a great record.
That's good.
But too high.
You're a little wild.
It's a little
You're
wild.
You're going to put that above Miles Davis?
You're going to put that above Revolver?
I mean, I don't care about that. But the Miles Davis, yeah.
De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising. Not for me, but I understand its
significance.
Importance.
And sure. Heaven or Las Vegas. Okay. Do you know what I like about Cocteau Twins?
What do you like?
Is that they're technically singing in English, but I can't tell you a
not
fucking
necessarily.
thing.
No, they make up gibberish.
They do make up gibberish. Is it factual that it is? But it's not. It's not Gaelic, but it's not like a Scottish dialect.
It might be Gaelic influenced or inspired.
So they are saying gibberish.
Yeah, not all the time.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Cocteau Twins.
I think it depends on the album.
I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I think that they speak English.
I was emailing the bassist Simon a long time ago to see if he would drop by one of my South by Southwest shows that I booked.
Yeah.
Anyways, PJ Harvey, To Bring You My Love
Okay.
is a PJ Harvey album I actually fuck with.
Yeah, I like that one more.
I like it way more, and that's all I have to say about it.
A second Replacements album?
Too much.
That's
And also, Let It Be is better than Tim, and just go with one. And 41's too high. And if I'd rather Meat Puppets be there.
Once again, androgynous swinging party. There's songs that I don't care about. I'm sorry.
Little Mascara.
Like, there's songs that I
Kiss Me
actively
on the
don't care
Bus.
for.
All right, Patti Smith, Horses.
Sure.
Overrated. This is the most overrated Neil Young album. It only gets chosen because the album cover is amazing.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah. Choose
agree.
any other album from the 70s, and song for song, pound for pound is better.
I don't. Yeah, people.
There's no good songs on this
love
album.
On the Beach.
It sucks. It's boring. It's bland. I don't like this album. I'd rather listen to Trans, and quite frankly, I'd rather listen to Landing on Water.
Your Mac will...
I like the Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, but it's not on my list.
Sure.
I prefer the artsy Eno stuff.
Got it.
Carole King Tapestry at 33.
Get out. Too late, baby. Yeah, it's too late. So we really did. But I don't think that's 33. It's kind of crazy.
Billie Holiday, Lady in Satin.
Beautiful.
Bjork Post. Higher Than Homogenic.
Wow.
Vespertine not included. Don't agree with those decisions.
Weird.
This would be my pick for best Bob Dylan
You
album.
got it.
Which makes
Tangled up in
blue. Which makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Than Apple Music only putting Blonde on, or was it Highway 61, or was it both of them?
Both.
I don't remember. But they didn't put Blonde on the tracks. I mean,
Fiona Apple? Okay, whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Not for
At
me.
least it's not number one.
Lauryn Hill, 28. At least it's not number one. Exactly.
Exactly. That's all I have to say about that.
Electric Ladyland, 27. Do not agree. I wouldn't even put it on the list. I would only put Are You Experienced?
Yeah, I wouldn't put that personally.
Same goes for Sgt. Pepper's.
Jeez.
Overrated.
Overrotted. Remain in Light.
25's too high. Even it's on my list, but it's not.
I don't think it's there. Yeah.
I think it would be top 150.
Another live album, Sam Cooke. So I love Sam Cooke.
I'm sure it's great.
It's beautiful.
I've heard it's really great.
I'm okay with that one.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
I like that they put so many live albums on here. London.
It's not that good, right?
It's not that.
It's overrated. Good. It's a great record, but it's overrated. Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Hey, we know some ones that have co-written songs on that record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Velvet Underground and Nico, Banana.
Sure.
21's really high, but
21's very. Okay.
I get that it's influential.
You know what also is really too high? Wilco at 20.
One of the most
overrated
albums ever. I hope they don't put Funeral on this top 20. I'm gonna lose my shit.
I might flip.
They put Arcade Fire on this shit.
What's this world coming to? Prince, Purple Rain, sure. Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. Okay, sure. We knew that. Funkadelic Maggot Brain.
17. What about One Nation Under a Groove? Or I don't know.
I mean, I love George Clinton.
But 17 is really high.
I mean, but I think it's because it's got Can You Get to That, right?
Okay.
Velvet Rope.
I know that people are loving Velvet Rope these days, but 16th best album of all time is ridiculous.
Just as ridiculous as Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run.
15.
Joni Mitchell, Blue. Everybody always says that. I'm not going to fight it.
I know.
We don't care.
I'm contrarian on this album.
Yeah, we like different. We like very different things. Here.
I like different Joni.
Yeah, we like different Joni. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Great album.
Sure.
13, I don't know though.
It's always rated high.
It always though.
Yeah.
Bitches Brew 12. Okay.
I like that. Apple didn't do that.
No, they shit the bed on that one.
They shit the bed on that.
Public Enemy, It Takes. Okay.
I could see that.
Okay.
It's a great record.
Pet Sounds.
You know what? I'm gonna add this to. I keep telling myself I'm gonna listen to it. Right. So I gotta heart it.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, this is cool.
That's Rate Your Music Core.
Okay, but Milton Nascimento and Lo Borges.
I had 5 Lo Borges albums on my list.
Yeah.
And look at me.
I had Lo Borges on mine too, didn't I?
I'm just saying that my tastes are being represented nicely.
Yeah, we both have big taste wieners here. Outcast Stankonia 6.
6 is too high.
I wouldn't put it there.
Abbey Road 5. I think that's appropriate.
I wouldn't. But Prince Sign of the Times 4 versus Purple Rain. That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
To see this Prince album so.
It's artsier. I find it too long. It's another bloated double album.
It's a little bit too big.
Great record though.
Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. Hounds of Love at 3 though. I love this album. I don't know if I would put it at 3 though.
No.
That's wild talk to me. The Cure, Disintegration.
At 2 is wild. It's a great record.
Great record.
At 2 is insanity.
Stevie Wonder.
It's a great record, but again, it's got filler. Am I crazy for? It's got harmonica solos I don't want to listen to.
I mean, it's got.
Does that make me such a bad guy? I don't like harmonica. Do I have to fucking like harmonica?
I don't know. Maybe.
Isn't she lovely? It's good, but it's so corny. Do I ever need to hear that song again?
You know what?
Do I ever need to hear I Wish again?
So, but here's the thing. Sir Duke, Isn't She Lovely? It's not the album's fault that every company has used it for jingles in car commercials and beaten it down. The commercial capitalist world has watered this album down because they chopped it up and served it to us.
I know, but it's just
marketing.
It just has too much schmaltz on the bagel for me.
It is schmaltzy.
There's too much cream cheese on this
I wouldn't
bagel.
put it at number 1.
Too much dip on its chip for me. And what I mean by that is there's too many tracks on it and the ego's too big. So my analogy is great. Overall though, I'm very happy with this list.
Overall.
I would give this
cooler.
I would give this list a B+ to a B.
B+, A-.
Whereas I'd give the Apple Music list a C-.
Yeah, overall I would give this list a B.
A B?
B.
Let's agree on a B.
B.